Hey, My Life back here with another video. Thank you to everybody who watched my last video on Danny Boyle's cult horror film 28 Days Later. With the release of 28 Years Later, I wanted to give the much hated and controversial sequel some much needed love and attention, so please give this video a like, and if you feel like it, subscribe, or as usual, I'll kill the family dog. 28 Weeks Later was directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo and released in the UK on the 11th of May 2007. With a budget of 15 million, it made a pretty lousy 65 million at the box office, but this is why we haven't seen any other media in the 28 Days Later universe until now. It's got a phenomenal cast: Robert Carl, Rose Byrne, Idris Elba, Imogen Poots, Jeremy Renner. However, they don't really do much with anybody. The only person giving it his all is Robert Carlyle, for fuck's sake. The performances are not bad by any means. There's definitely some room for a couple more takes of some of the scenes, but it's just lacking. I don't know, it's just not very good. However, I actually did have a pretty good time watching this movie. It's a pretty decent zombie movie, but bad to the original, you know? If it's a sequel, then it's shit. If it's its own thing, kind of a cool premise. I feel not having Danny Boyle come back as the director is a huge problem with this movie. Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, he does a great job at copying his directing, his art style, the editing. I don't know if they used the same editor. I definitely should have researched that, but I've hit record. I'm not doing that now. But this movie, it's chaotic. There's too much going on. There's too many characters, too much of a plot. The kind of over-the-top, gritty kind of style doesn't match the clean and glossy, almost Americanism of the film. If you have never seen this movie, you actually probably have. It's just quite forgetful. We follow Don Harris, played by, again, the brilliant Robert Carlyle, who you probably know best from Danny Boyle's other movie, Trainspotting. Anyways, after the outbreak happened, Don and his wife Alice and a group of survivors are taking refuge in a cottage. But after Alice lets in a child who is running away from the infected, the group are quickly sworn and taken out each by one in a very brutal way. Don manages to escape, abandoning his wife, because fuck her. I mean, everybody has seen the clip of him running away from the house. The music's going. They're coming over the shot of him running. I'll put it in now. Shot of him running, and they're all over the horizon coming towards him. Absolutely terrifying. 28 weeks later, the US has created a quarantine zone on the Isle of Dogs in London, slowly rebuilding the country and bringing people in. Don's children, Tammy and Andy, are brought back into the country, curious about their mother's death. Don explains it all to them, but he lies. He makes it seem like he didn't have a choice and that he saw her die, not him running away like a complete fucking pussy. Anyway, stupidly, the kids leave the quarantine zone after being told that they're not going to be able to return to their family home. Long story short, their mother Alice is actually alive despite being infected and left for dead. This completely fucks with Don's head, as he just told the children that he saw their mum die. So Alice and her son Andy have this weird David Bowie thing with the different coloured eyes, making them immune to the virus. Don kisses his wife while she's strapped down to a bed, and she bites his lip, rapidly infecting him. And that's it. It spreads like wildfire through the quarantine zone, with some shitty kind of action pieces here and there. There's actually a few that are pretty cool. So during the lockdown, they put a bunch of survivors in the basement to keep them safe. However, the infected Don, he gets in through the back door and just infects one person, then two, then three, and it just spreads literally like wildfire again. Wow, look at that. So that's pretty cool. Also, there's a bit at the end where he tilts a helicopter and they go through a field and he's just like churning up fucking zombies. Absolutely awesome. Need more shit like that. Why there isn't more zombie movies? I know we got a little bit burnt out, but oh my god, I fucking love them. So we follow Jeremy Renner, who's an army sniper, Rose Byrne, who's some military scientist, Tammy and her little brother Andy. Rose Byrne's character realizes that Andy could be the answer to this cure, sacrificing themselves along the way. Renner gets burnt alive. Rose Byrne gets her head fucking smashed in by Don in the London Underground. Sorry, this guy is everywhere. I've got to mention this. They are running, driving all the way around London, but somehow Don is always there. He's always where he needs to be, where the camera wants him to be, but he's always there. I feel like it isn't mentioned much, but at the beginning we get a text on the screen. It's like an info dump more like, but it basically mentions that the infected starved to death. And this was explored in the first one, where you had Christopher Eccleston tied up that zombie to see how long it would take to starve them. That shit happens, so that's a true thing, but we know 28 years later, they're not starving to death. And that's why in the trailer we saw the one that everybody thought was Cillian Murphy, because it's this ghoul looking, guy, but it turned out to be some sort of like German actor or something. But in this one, Don gets infected from a woman who's patient zero, who's half got the cure. So he's also kind of smart. And I'm like, right, so is he smart, or is the virus, like, what's going on there? Anyway, I think she created a zombie 2.0, because crazy. So through the movie, after a bunch of bullshit, Andy and Tammy finally get onto a helicopter, making it to somewhere safe, but the movie ends. All we get is a pretty cool mid-credit scenes for this time, alright? We see a bunch of infected going around the Eiffel Tower, telling us that they weren't able to contain the virus to the UK, and now it's spread to mainland Europe. It's game over, leading us into the highly anticipated sequel, 28 Years Later. Go see it at your nearest cinema. This isn't sponsored. Go see it at your nearest cinema, or, I don't know, video store? No. I don't know. Anyway, after the enormous success of 28 Days Later, the studio could not wait to recapture the awesome gritty world that Danny Boyle and Alex Garland had beautifully crafted. Unfortunately, they never quite recaptured it, instead creating a more complex yet watered down version of that premise, and I do think there's something here for zombie fans and zombie movie fans, but it's just not a very good movie. That being said, well done, you've done it. You've made it through another one. Don't know how you do it. I do it. You do it. We all do it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Now, fuck off and go have a wank, you silly sausage.